It's the second week of Magical Readathon, and I'm well on my way to becoming an alchemist. So, it's near the end of Tuesday the 9th, and this is the first update I feel like doing. I started a few books that really had me dragging and close to a slump. But I decided to let those wait and move on to something different. So, first I'll talk about the ones that were giving me trouble. So, first one giving me trouble is Our Lady of the Ice by Cassandra Rose Clark. This one's up to be a historical alternative fiction. So while I'm not opposed to it, caught me off guard. The setting is a dome city in Antarctica. It has robots with AI, politicians and gangsters struggling for power, and a private investigator right in the middle of it. Her and every poor soul in the dome. I'm about 30% done with this one, and I made a mistake of looking up a disparaging rating on Goodreads. And while I don't agree with it, while I'm trying to read, I keep thinking about that review, and just making it hard to fall back in the story. So I'm not DNFing this book, but I have many others to finish, so I'm just gonna keep going with something else, finish some other things first. Doesn't help that there's no audiobook for this one, but it does help that it was written or published in 2015, so not a whole lot of people clamoring for it, so I'll be able to have it on my Libby app for a while. I wrote down some notes, so that's what I'm just looking at while I talk to you guys. Next one I'm stalling on is History of Wild Places. This one I paused at 20%. I had some other books on the Libby app that I wasn't gonna be able to renew, and the date was closing in on them. So, I renewed this one because it was, I was able to. So it was a logistical problem had me pausing on this one. I am having trouble seeing this as being anything other than like a Village, The Village, the movie fanfic. It does have some other aspects to it, so it's not completely, it's not exactly the same story, like whole cloth, but so many of the bits are just like, yeah, this is the same. But now let's get into the books I finished in the last 2 days. Got another good haul completed. So the first one I finished, started it like Sunday night, and oh, here's my kitty. That's Artemis. Yeah, started it on Sunday and finished it on Monday. Gingerbread by Helen Oyeyemi. Let me give my little visual aid. This one. So I thought this book was going to be about like an offbeat mother and daughter team, like pair, that were kind of working together to get through normal life, but they were quirky. But that is not what I got. Instead, this book is so full of generational trauma, told as if it's a sweet fairy tale. I'm gonna have to think about this one for a bit because it made me sad And sometimes when books make me sad, I want to punish the author by rating them low. And that is completely not fair because sad books are good books. Anyway, if you like The Starless Sea and the Wayward Children series, like if you wanted them together, I would say that this would be a good book for you. Parts of it were told in a very dreamlike quality, and it's about losing a place that you thought you belonged to. Yeah. The next one I read was Heartwood Box by Anna Gary. This is a YA suspense with some sci-fi elements. The main character, Araceli, is believable in a way I appreciated. Her early life with her like wartime news journalist parents, like really it really sets the book up to make sense for the rest of it. But she goes to live with her great aunt at the beginning of this book and finds that the town that she lives in is full of deep-seated racism. But she is able to make some really good friends before the nonsense starts happening. All the action that she has to juggle too many things at once. She's got dance team, romance, missing posters, you know. There's my AC is starting, but okay. There's a science facility that she goes to check out, you know. There's all kinds of things. I would say like the actual like fighting action that happens only makes sense if you kind of suspend your disbelief, but I gave it 4.5 stars in my heart. Not sure if I'll round up or down on Goodreads. It really, the start of it really reminded me of Meg Cabot's Mediator series and all the Christopher Pike I read as a middle schooler, and maybe The Root Cellar by Janet Lunn. Yeah. So yeah, that was a good one for me. It really I was able to just chew right through it and didn't make me sad. Perked me up quite a bit. I'm actually not sure when I read these. Like all my books are swirling together at this point. But I read Jujutsu Kaisen Volume 2 and 3. I like this series. I've watched a bit of the manga, a bit of the anime. But yeah, it's a pretty standard top tier shonen manga. It's got fight scenes and drama with like the characters getting stronger each fight, like up in the drama level. These volumes introduce some more students at the Jujutsu High, with, you know, the quirks and tropes manga readers know and love. Main character with strong morals that thinks deep things in simple ways, you know. Let's see, Itadori's deal is that he wants to grow stronger so he can choose the way he'll die. So yeah, it's a fun one. Then I also read earlier today I read the Dune graphic novel. It's interesting that the opening language shows how corrupt the ruling powers are, and it pushes the fact that Paul is different. He's not like other boys. All the talk of human or animal made me angry again, but it being in comic form made it a lot quicker read, so I got past the anger-inducing part faster, which is good, because that is what had me DNFing the novel, that and the singing. Don't love singing, and that was a lot easier to just pass those little parts in the comic as well. I liked the way, I liked the conversation that Paul and Jessica had in the desert Even though I've seen that same scene twice in 2 different versions of Dune, the miniseries back in the 90s and the newer, 2021? I don't know when the movie came out, whatever. The newest movie. Even though I'd seen that scene twice, I felt like I understood a bit more of the depth of what Paul was going through in this graphic novel version. So that was pretty cool. That I was really again thinking, okay, yeah, this is just gonna be movies and like TV for me. I don't think I need this in written form, but that ending conversation really made me want to read the next one when it comes out. And then 5-star read, Nettle and Bone by T. Kingfisher. Now this is the first T. Kingfisher novel I've read, and I am super excited. I have 2 more on the TBR for this month, and I'm excited to get to them now. Nettle and Bone is a revenge plot and heist story wrapped up in a little fairy tale wrapper. Yeah. Mara is naive but capable. I love the dust witch in this. I haven't checked yet whether dust witches are like a thing like in fairy tales. But I love them. I love them. I don't know whether I wish Kingfisher made them up or whether they're an established thing, because it's like I love Kingfisher even more if she made them up, but then also I would get to read more things about dust witches if she didn't. So yeah, but I haven't looked it up yet, so I don't know. The characters felt very true, like the actions they took, it felt like, yeah, of course this is what they're gonna do. So I love it when actions make sense. Let's see, I picked up a lot more books since. Oh yeah, so I've also seemed to have picked up a lot of books on this month's TBR that show how an unscrupulous person in a place of power just ruins everyone's lives. But this is the first book that I've read so far this month that I didn't leave like super angry about it. I felt hopeful by the end of this one, so I'm happy. Yeah. So this was a decent little update where I updated you about like 3 whole days of reading almost. Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday. I'll probably go read some more. Listen to an audiobook or some such. Have a snack. I might not have a snack. It's already 11. I probably should just wrap it up and go to bed. Yeah, but I've got 32 more books to read. 3 more weeks, basically. Yeah, like three more full weeks, I think. Something like that. 32 out of the 53 read. I'm still feeling great about this readathon and this ridiculous challenge that I've put towards myself. Yeah, so to show or to say how ridiculous it is, I read 54 books all year last year. So reading 53 in a month is pretty ludicrous. But I'm pretty sure I'm gonna do it. So, oh well. That's pretty awesome. I'm gonna have to catch up with you again later. Once I've read some more things. Maybe this time I'll even tell you before I start the book. Maybe. Or update you before I'm all the way through. Which I updated you on 2 of them before I was completed with them. So, you know, I'm getting there. Alright, I've rambled enough. Talk to you on Wednesday. Okay, it's Wednesday night. And let's see what I've done. I think I've talked to you about Nettle and Bone already. Then I read What Moves the Dead by T. Kingfisher. I love the prose in this one, and I was able to clearly see like the scene in my head, like the beginning, like the time period and just like what everything looked like very easily, which is not super usual for me. I just kind of have people floating in nothingness space. Don't really think that hard about scenery usually, but I love that. I also loved Eston's tangents on people and like that I used to know. So that was pretty cool. Okay, and then, so I read that early this morning, and I got to one part while I was eating breakfast, and I had to stop, not because it was super disgusting, though it was a little bit icky, but because, like, the fear that the characters were feeling at that moment, like, I couldn't eat anymore. So, I'm a fan. Yeah, 5 stars. Again, super love the author's note at the end. This is a story from, written from Edgar Allan Poe's The Fall of the House of Usher, which I don't think I've read. I thought I'd read all of Poe's work, and somehow I kept thinking it was the Red Death one. Mask of the Red Death. Yeah, and then I'm like, no, this is a different thing. Anyway, so I'll get to that eventually. So yeah, I was left feeling pretty like I had a fear hangover after that book, and so I went with, let's see, something to kind of cleanse the palate a bit. Honey So Sweet, and as you see, it's this adorable manga, and there's this cute little, this couple that doesn't start out as a couple, but yeah, like everything in this is just like, oh, it's so cute. But yeah, it's a little group, like 4 high schoolers that are misunderstood in ways, don't have a lot of friends, and they kind of, through this one, the one tall kid right here, brings them together, even though most people think of him as a delinquent. So super cute. It was exactly what I needed after getting so spooked. And I intend to continue it. So yeah, so that was what I wanted to say about that one. See, I also read Hawkeye Little Hits. Yeah, I finished it, but not a super fan. I probably won't read anymore unless it's like a need for like a prompt for some readathon somewhere, you know. But it was quick and easy. I know more about, you know, his character and the other people in the world. As for the ones I've started, I went a little bit farther in A History of Wild Places. Still only like 30% in now from 20. So I think that was where I was at and where I've gotten to. I'm about an hour into In the Company of Crows and Ravens. It's kind of washed out, isn't it? It's a nonfiction book about the culture of crows and the culture of humans and how they have interacted through the years and what we learned from each other, that sort of thing. I'm enjoying it. I'll have to write down some neat crow facts when I remember to. And then after that, I started very, very shortly into Language of Sand. I'm only 8 pages in, so don't know a whole lot, but from the back, there's must be about grief again, another book about grief, and learning to live with it, learning to love life again, that sort of thing. But yeah, she's like on an island with seems like an interesting cast of characters again. It says scientific genius feuding fisherman wives handsome hothead to the ghost said to be haunting the lighthouse. Yeah, so not very far into that one. And then another one that this one's I'm reading the audiobook, though I also have the physical copy. Throw it on the ground from my from my local library. It's only 3 hours long. It's super short. It's in Antiquities by Cynthia Ozick. I'm not sure I love it, but haven't really got into it too good. Seems like it's going to be another generational trauma type book, but this time instead of like Gingerbread where it was the maternal side, this seems like it's going to be on the paternal side, the men's trauma. So, you know, I'm not nearly as interested in that as what women go through. But we have a little cat battle happening over there, but oh my goodness. But yeah, so I believe that's what I started. I haven't moved any further on Our Lady of the Ice. Do plan to. Yeah. Going out tomorrow to see a movie. What movie? What movie is it that we're going to see? I don't know. It's a popular one, so I don't know why I can't think of it, but I guess I'll talk a little bit about that when I can remember what movie I had planned. Yeah, oh well. So, talk to you again Thursday, I guess. Yeah. I'm feeling like I should really start reading the book I need to annotate, but I might do that next week. And I might start this one. This one's a sequel to another one that I've read before. Starfish by Peter Watts. This is Maelstrom. And I know it took me like 2-3 years to like complete that one. So I only have 3 weeks to finish this one. Some of it was pretty heavy in the other one, so hopefully it won't be that bad, but I should probably go ahead and start that this week. So, yeah. I think that's where I'm at. I'm enjoying T. Kingfisher. I got 1 more to go for this author. So, I mean, of what I have available to me right now. I need to look into the twisted ones, I think. I still need to get that one. I'm not sure what else she's got, but excitement. Yeah, like 29 more books to go. And I'm partially through like 5 of them or something. All right. Thursday. That'll be the next. Well, here's that fated Thursday. talked about. Didn't go see a movie. I finished one book, Tokyo Ghoul Volume 1. Decided didn't like it. Read it all, so I finished it. But as I suspected, not for me. But yeah, didn't go see a movie because of low energy. Just didn't feel up to it. The movie I was supposed to go see was Bullet Train. So maybe sometime this weekend or next week I'll have more energy for that. I did make it to the library. Let's see. Another thing I did was decide that I was... Kitty, stop making noise. I was definitely DNFing this one, but luckily I have enough points in my guild that I can still count that. I rearranged my reading, and now that's the book, Our Lady of the Ice. That's the book I'm going to use for the AI prompt. And kitties, they're going in and out of a cabinet that they're not supposed to go in. Because I had Our Lady of the Ice for fantasy, and it was not at all fantasy. It was completely sci-fi. So I went to the library and got this book. I don't know too much about it, but there's a cat, and it thinks it's the keeper of the woman. This is a bind up of 3 books and one. I'm just planning on reading the first one, which I guess is Summon the Keeper. Yeah, so they're summoned to the kitty and the woman. The woman's name is Claire and the kitty's name is Austin. They're summoned to a guest house, and I guess there's a portal to hell in the basement. Yeah, so. And my library classifies this as fantasy, so I was like, okay, I'm going with that. And then I decided not to read The Island at the End of Everything or something like that, because it was a middle grade, but it was also about a leper colony, and I just don't have the energy for that right now, and decided to treat myself a little nicer. And this looks like it's gonna be a lot of fun. So this one is for Wing on the cover. It's a little cute little, I think it's a magpie, little bird. But this is Norway, and I think this is book 1. It's written by Kit and Kat Seaton, and a witch tells her this bull is gonna ask for her hand in marriage, and there's something else is gonna happen after that. I don't know. I like the art. I like the art style, so I decided to give it a go. And these don't have a prompt, but I may trade out some other books if they count, if they work for them. But I really enjoyed the first one of Honey So Sweet, so I got 2 and 3. So I may put those on my TBR. Like I said in the last clip, I guess I have 28 books now since I read that other manga, Tokyo Ghoul. I think anyway. I can't remember if... hopefully I hadn't already told you that I didn't like it. I don't know. But yeah, I went out today and I accidentally got glutened. I'm non-celiac, gluten intolerant, and I like, gluten allergy. And it's got me pretty, brain foggy. I already had low energy. That was unrelated. And yeah, but hopefully it won't slow me down too much. I still have a decent amount of audiobooks in my Libby app, so as long as I can listen and comprehend for a while, I should still meet my goal of 53 books. So, but I wanted to go ahead and update, saying that I didn't have much of an update, but I had these neat new library books to show off. So that's something to be happy about. Yeah. All right. That's enough for tonight. All right. It's Sunday morning. Not even sure of the date, but it's the second. This is the close of the second week of Magical Readathon. I have a few books to talk about. I have decided to DNF this one as well. A History of Wild Places by Shay Earnshaw. I got like 70% in and decided I was done, but I did listen to the last like 45 minutes or so just to see how it ended up. And yeah, it wasn't for me, that's all. I just couldn't get over how much like the village it was, even though it was different, but it just wasn't, I couldn't get past it, that's all. And I also finished, let me grab this book. I finished Antiquities. It took me far longer to finish this than the 3-hour audiobook would suggest. I've wrote a few notes on that. So it's a miserable old man at the end of his life trying to write a memoir about his time in a boarding school when he was young. It seemed like he was running from, his life was running from emotions, and it seemed like this was when they were catching up with him. A quote from the book kind of sums up the vibe. I think of the loneliness I felt in my childhood, which returns to me now, as if all loneliness, past and present, were one. Yeah. So a lot of his miserableness it was his own doing. And I have a hard time with sympathy. So, yeah. It was okay. Let's see. Then I've started rereading a favorite, which was Maplecroft by Cherie Priest. I'm enjoying it again. The first time I read it, I read a physical copy of it from the library, of course. Library all the way. And this time I'm listening to an audiobook of it. I think I actually like the physical copy better, but I'm gonna move forward on the audiobook because that's what I have this time. So, and then the book that is making reading fun again for me, The Language of Sand by Ellen Block. I think I've talked about this before in this vlog this week. It is about grief. It's about a woman. Let's see. This one, I'll just read what I wrote here because just because. This one isn't groundbreaking, but it is pulling me from the reading slump that Our Lady of the Ice and The History of Wild Things about had me in. It's about a woman who has tragically lost her husband and son, her small child, in a fire. It's her journey of going through the motions and trying to find out who she is without those two important roles of wife and mother. Yeah, I foresee a 5-star read, mostly just because it was there for me when I needed this type of novel with I've been reading a lot of selfish and people that I find it really hard to empathize with. And I definitely, Abigail now turning into Abby, and I can feel for her, so that makes it easier for me to read a book. But yeah, I will continue with this. I have about 100 pages left. Oh yeah, and this one there's not chapter numbers. It's a letter. So I checked and there are 26. So it ends with chapter Z. So that's fun. So every chapter you get a word from a dictionary because she is a dictionary editor. So yeah, that's been fun. I can't say I'm really learning any new words because I don't think I'll put most of these in practice. Phantod. Usually phantods, a state of extreme nervousness or restlessness. The willies. The fidgets. Yeah. Sometimes phantods, a sudden outpouring of anger, outrage, or similar intense emotion. I don't know. I do seem to have those. Very, very moody. Very moody over here. So maybe phantods is a word I need to grab from this book. Yeah, I think that's about it for my reading journey this week. I had some disappointments. I traded out some books for the Orilium Magical Readathon. Really enjoyed What Moves the Dead and Nettle and Bone. This is not a great look, but all those ones with the little check marks beside them are all the ones I've completed. So altogether, I've read 28 books in 2 weeks, which is huge for me. And that means I'm well on my way to the 53 mark. Yeah, I will continue reading today, but this will be my last update for this week. So any reading that happens today will be in next week's vlog. I do want to start annotating first thing next week. Probably tomorrow, Monday, is when I'll get that going, and that'll be S by J.J. Abrams and Doug Dorst. I have here's my little, you can barely see the S. I didn't put my ring light on today. Didn't want my eyes blasted this early in the morning. It's not that early, it's like 10, but this is when I woke up, so I didn't want to be blasted. Oh yeah, I had a great time last night. I went on the Orilium Discord and did a bunch of reading sprints with those lovely people. and I'm new and I'm new there and I haven't really learned anybody's name yet, but I'm excited to continue seeing people as I go. Yeah. I think that is my week 2 of August and the Magical Readathon Orilium. I think so. All right. Well, I'll get this edited and uploaded in a few minutes. And I hope you are having some magical reading yourself. Bye.